Ohio State is holding its second preseason scrimmage, second and final, on Saturday. We don't get to watch it. We're going to be off doing other things and hoping we pick up little details here and there of intel from what goes on. Nathan Baird from cleveland.com and Stephen Means. But let's start with the quarterbacks, because that is still an undecided question going into Saturday. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? What do you think that either Kyle McCord or Devin Brown has to do on Saturday to just finally lock this thing up?
Be consistent, I think. I feel like every position group we talk to, the word consistency has come up, but Ryan Day said something interesting on Monday when he said you can't have 2 touchdowns in a row or 2 good plays in a row and then throw an interception, because that's not good. It's probably what's happening with both of these quarterbacks right now, or at least one of them. They're keeping this really close to the vest this time around, but just move the ball down the field consistently in a way that makes this coaching staff go, that's our starting quarterback, even if they don't tell us until next week. We're at the point, whether it was Justin Fields, whether it was CJ Stroud, regardless of what it is, we're at that point now where somebody needs to start claiming this job. Even if the public doesn't find out for a couple of days, Ohio State should be able to come out of this weekend and go, I think that's our starting quarterback. And so that just means consistently moving the ball down the field in an efficient manner.
It's really interesting because Ryan Day, I think, to me, in the last, maybe I'm reading too much into this, I feel like he's brought up the eye test a little bit more than he was going back to the spring. I think back in the spring, and still right now, they are still charting everything, grading everything these guys do, every rep that they take, they go back and grade it, and that is a big part of the evaluation that's going on. But I think he's waiting to feel the way he has felt before when he's been ready to pick a starting quarterback. And I think it's such a nebulous thing, but I think there's a vibe that these guys have to put off at some point. And I think part of it is, I think you're right, what we're sort of gleaning from what's going on is the longer this drags on, the more uncertainty there is, the more pressure there is, which is how Ryan Day has sort of devised this. I think it would be very natural for there to be some pressing in these situations. Like, how important every rep is, because Ryan Day comes in and tells us, and I'm sure they already know, like, hey, this is going to be a big week. Hey, that first scrimmage is going to be big. Like, he's trying to create the pressure of a game environment, because you can't do that as much just with how a game plays out. The quarterbacks are not live to contact. You have to create the pressure of being Ohio State's quarterback in a wide way, in ways that go beyond just what's happening in a practice rep. So I think that's what's still been going on. That's why this is still going on to some extent. And I think it might come down to who is the first guy to step up and kind of let that roll off his shoulders a little bit and look relaxed and comfortable and just go out and, as you're saying. The other thing that keeps coming up, both from Ryan Day, Keenan Bailey said it the other day, players have said it, it's about like making the routine things look routine. Like, don't make a routine thing look hard because you're pressing because of whatever else is going on. I think that they're just looking for confidence. They're looking for that player to look more confident in the moment. They're trying to be more confident themselves. Very quickly, what's one other thing that you hope that we know that we don't already know coming out of the scrimmage on Saturday?
I want the starting offensive line to be written in pen. I think we've all written it in pencil at this point. Josh Simmons, Donovan Jackson, Carson Hinsman, Matthew Jones, and Josh Fryer. But they're not married to it yet. They keep saying they're not married to things yet. Put a ring on it. Put a ring on things this weekend. And that can extend to anywhere else, but especially the offensive line. Because you get that solidified, the next logical step on offense, because everything else is figured out from a starting standpoint, is the quarterback. So can the other 10 spots on offense be solidified this weekend, especially on that offensive line where we think it's written in pencil very lightly so you can erase it. It's in pen, there's a ring on it, and on September 2nd, we're all going to the wedding.
I am still, and I don't know what they're going to tell us more, because really a lot of the position battles have still been on offense. Everything on defense gets talked about more in a rotational way, but there's still some young guys on this defense, whether that's Kenyatta Jackson, who we were just talking about today with the defensive line, whether that's CJ Hicks at linebacker. What is the plan? What is the role? And how soon can they make an impact this year? And I wonder if we can start to hear their names a little bit more. I think CJ Hicks is maybe the one that I'm the most curious about. And he kind of falls in that category of guys come in very highly ranked, and then you expect a lot out of them, and And now it's the second year, and it's like, well, what's going on? But they keep mentioning Cody Simon, and how great he is in practice. So does that mean that Cody Simon is going to play a lot of or maybe all the backup linebacker snaps and rotate in for both Chambers and Eichenberg? Or is Hicks right behind Chambers, and is he going to have a real role subbing in there? And maybe that's something that doesn't get decided by September 2nd. Maybe that is more of an over the course of the year thing. I'm still just very curious about what the plan is with him, a guy that they all say has so much talent and who really looks the part, but just seems to be in this weird thing where he's stuck behind older guys. And I don't think it's anybody's fault that that's going on. They're just trying to figure it out, and maybe Saturday could give them some more clarity. We'll tell you everything we find out about the scrimmage early next week on Buckeye Talk and via the text. So get those 614-350-3315. When Ohio State has a starting quarterback, that's the first people we'll be telling, the people who have those texts.